Hi.
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight.
Alright, so what's going on, guys? So today I actually have a installation that I'm going to do on the Yukon for my wife. If I can make it focus. There you go. What we're actually going to be doing is I purchased a set of a hood strut kit. I actually bought two because one I was supposed to use on my truck, but all I got left is a frame right now. So I'll go ahead and film the installation of this hood strut kit. It is by a company called Wamrods, right there. Wamrods. I'll link their information below. You can check out their Instagram, but they sell strut kits to get rid of those the springs that GM trucks have. They do sell these kits for the 73 to 80 square body, the 81 to 87 square body, the 88 to 98 full size, and the 99 to 06 full size. They say on there the Silverados, but most of these the Suburbans and the Yukons and the Tahoes, their front ends are all the same. So this kit will work for my wife's Yukon. But I'll break open the packaging here, and I'll show you guys what all comes with the kit. So I'll set my camera down and I'll do an unboxing of this hood strut kit for the truck and SUVs. So if I can ever get it open. And then we'll do this number here. Okay. Put these off to the side. Let's see what's behind this. All right. Looks to be about it. That's everything in the tube. What we got is all your mounting hardware. You got your colored instructions, very detailed. I've already went over this because I opened the other one before and kind of went through it. And they all got colored, very well labeled instructions. So I'll get to that here in a second and go back over it because it's been a while since I read this, so I'll have to go back over it. But I'm pretty sure it's straightforward. Then we got the main struts right here. And that's it. These two little shocks are gonna replace those hood springs. So I'll go ahead and set this back out. I don't think there was anything back in this. Shouldn't be. No, seems to be about it. So that's everything in there. So I'm gonna go over this real quick before I actually go to install it. It's all your brackets and bolts, and then your two struts. So I'm gonna go over the instructions real quick and look them over again, and then I'll show you guys what the factory springs look like on this 2005 Yukon. So these are the tools you're going to need to install this hood strut kit for the 99 to 06 truck and SUVs. You're going to need your 3/8 ratchet wrench, a 3-inch 3/8 extension, a short 13mm socket, a long 13mm socket, a 13 open-end wrench, a 14 open-end wrench, a 1/2-inch deep socket, and then you're going to need a 5mm hex. So this is the layout of how everything is supposed to mount. Your upper strut mount, the inner mounting point goes towards the inside of the hood hinge, towards the center of the vehicle. So you're going to have your upper mounting point on the inside, followed by a washer. In the center, you're going to have this thick washer. That's just to keep it from the bolt moving around in the hood hinge, because this bolt is smaller than the original hood hinge. So that's very important to have. Followed by the second washer on the outside, the lock washer, and then the last nut. The nut on the outside is going to be a 14mm, and then the upper mounting point is going to be the 1/2-inch. And then that's going to be both on the hood hinges, just like this. And then for the fender brace, these are not left and right specific. However, this flange has to be facing the inside towards the engine. So once you have that on the inside, this lower strut mount is going to go on the inside with no washer. Then on the inside of this flange, you're going to have your lock washer followed by the nut, and that's going to be on both sides. Remembering that this flat part is going to be towards the inside of the engine bay. And then to mount these to the fender brace, you're going to have these provided bolts that threads into the factory fender brace, just with these small washers. And that's it. So this is going to be the whole layout of how it's going to be installed, and now we'll be ready to go install it on the Yukon. Pretty much what we're going to do first is remove the spring, and that first mounting point is going to be right up here with a stud facing the inside. But I also read the instructions, and it says that on the driver's side, this section of the cowl may interfere with that the head of the strut. So this may have to be trimmed and painted so it doesn't rust, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna get taking this hinge off and then seeing if this is gonna interfere with the cowl. Put in this side first, and if it does, I'm gonna have to pick this back up at work and take it to where I can get this spotted in whenever I cut that sheet metal off. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, is set up my camera, and I'll remove this spring first. So first thing you want to do is remove this top bolt, and there's a nut behind it that you have to hold with a wrench, and they're both 13mm. And before you take this whole bolt all the way off, make sure you have something holding the hood, otherwise it's going to come down on you. Like that. And then the inner bolt is also going to be a 13. I'm gonna have to try to use this to get in there. Try to get that off. Okay, there it is, factory spring removed. Now I'm going to get the first mounting hardware to put on the hood hinge. Okay, so same as I explained before, first thing you want to put on the upper mounting point is your washer. Then goes that thick brace, that spacer that's going to go in here to prevent it from moving around. Now we can put it in the hood hinge, and that prevents it from moving around. Then you got your second washer on the outside, followed by the lock nut, and then finally by the nut. snug that down by hand, and then you're going to take a opening wrench 14. That's going to be for the outside, and the inside is actually a standard 1/2 inch. So we're going to go ahead and snug that down. Let's go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, and now we're ready to undo the 13mm bolts for the fender brace. So now that you guys can see that a little bit better, now we'll go ahead and remove our outer bolts for the fender brace. Go ahead and remove both of them. And then you won't need these bolts anymore because the kit provides you with new hardware to mount it to. So I already went ahead and put the lower mounting point onto the bracket itself, but I'm going to go ahead and tighten it first. Same thing, 14mm on the outside for the nut, and then you got your 1/2 inch for the mounting strut itself. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down, just like that. Now this is going to be facing the inside, and it's going to sit right there where the factory fender bracket would go. Then you're going to take your 2 new bolts. Make sure you put your washers on them. And this is actually going to be a hex, a 5mm. And we're going to go ahead and use that. Start threading it in. Just start one. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting in the second one. Go ahead and start threading that in. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that was it. Now all that's left is to install the strut itself, and the cylinder part, the rod, is actually going to be facing the top side of facing towards the hood. There's no directions on here to indicate which direction, but make sure this rod is on the hood hinge itself, and it should just snap in place just like that. And then I'm gonna have to lower my hood, but now that's just going to mount right there where it's supposed to. If I can do this with one hand, this comes down, just snaps right there, and that's it. Now hopefully I'm not going to have to trim any of this, so what I'm going to have to do is lower this hood down slowly. So it was difficult to get it to shut, but I guess because it's been so long, they were seized a little bit, but I actually got it to collapse. So it looks like everything is good, and I've already shut it, and it looks like it is going to have to clear. It is going to clear right here, and I'm not going to have a problem with it. So there's one. I'm going to go ahead and get installing the second one, and it's pretty much the same process as I did over here. But I'm going to have to figure out a way how to mount it over here though, because I don't have the fender brace. So I'll figure it out. But I got one installed, and I'll see if I can install this side. Okay, so I did get this side on, and I did get all of them to collapse, but I'm having the unfortunate part of the inner fender bending because I don't have that fender brace. But that's only my fault. That's because I don't have that fender brace. I do have it, but unfortunately I have it at work, so I won't be able to install it today. But that's all of the installation, and it does close pretty good. They do hold it up pretty good, and they keep it closed, because it does take some force to actually open them up also. So that's pretty much it. That's the installation of the Wamrods good strut kit.